recording.
Okay, so this is Julie Alec, and my lesson plan is called Addition with Unifix Cubes. So the objective would be to recreate addition problems by using these Unifix cubes over here. They're going to be able to sum the math problem with the correct answer. So, sorry, I'm on a different take. So what we do is I'd first model the activity. We'd go over the we will, I will statement. So the we will in the beginning. So I would say that we are going to do some addition problems using these Unifix cubes, and I talk about how they're a lot like Legos because they just pop in together, assuming they've never seen it before. My hook would be to just talk about that Lego feature and to say that we're going to build our number sense today, and we're going to play with Unifix cubes while we're doing some math addition problems, and it's a lot like Legos. That'd be how I'd introduce it. So the first thing I would do is model the activity. So I have 6 flashcards here. I have extra if time permits. I would start with this one as my idea, going left to right. So I would say, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a Unifix color for each one. So the top, I'm going to choose a color. And how many is that? And then say 1. So I'd be like, okay, it's 1. Then how many is that? 2. Okay, pick a different color. So let's say I pick red. So then it's like, okay, so the plus sign means to add something to it. Remember, like the video, because I would have showed them a video about counting the apples. So I just remember the video had that plus sign. So that's how you know you need to add something to it. So I need to add this 2 to 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 1 down here, and I'm going to add this, and then add this to it. So what I have here is 1, so 1 green, plus 2 reds equals what? And then what the child would do, what I would do in the model is say, okay, I got to count this. 1, 2, 3. So then I need to write 3 on my post-it note. So, and that's one-to-one correspondence is what they're doing there. So then I'd be like, okay, your turn. I want you to do this one. So then the student would pick out 5. So they can put it here. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, okay, pick out a different color for the bottom, and then they'd pick out their bottom. So it's 2, 3, 4. And then, okay, now connect the first number first. So then they connect it. And of course, with addition, you can do either number first, but I'm just trying to teach them in order just so they can not get confused, because this is meant to be kind of an introduction to how to do this. So they put it all together, and then of course, now we've got the one-to-one correspondence again. So then I'd say, okay, how many do you have? 5 plus 4 equals what? And so they'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I was like, okay, write your number. So in a classroom, I would let them work independently. Actually, with partners, I think would be better to do this. And then, of course, have multiple flashcards. So they go through all those. I made sure this one equals 20 because I wanted to do a higher number. I've got an 11 here and a 12. I really did choose this one on purpose because it has a 0, so I'm interested to see what my student does with that 0. I'm going to let them try to figure it out. So how do I assess it? How do I know that they learned something? So what I'm going to do is, in a classroom, I'd walk around and check out the partners and see how they're doing. But for my students, since it's one-on-one, I would ask them how they, I'd ask them to, how they figured out the numbers on the post-it notes. And then they would say, well, there was 5 and 4, so I got 5 of one color and 4 of another. And then I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 9, so I know it's 9. So that'd be how I'd ask them how they figured out their answer. That'd be the response I'm looking for. For follow-up questions, I can ask, how do you know that number is correct? Actually, I just said that. I want to also ask the plus sign. How do you know what that means? Because my next idea for a lesson plan would be to move into subtraction. So I need to make sure they understand addition problems first. And then to extend this activity, I thought, you could add dice or dominoes, and it's that pattern recognition, like on a dice, the 5 dots. I'm hoping that they can start to count on, so they can start to recognize that a dice with the 5 dots means the number 5 automatically. So I'd like them to get a dice, or dominoes even, you could do and say the 5 plus 4 equals 9. I thought, and I don't have any dice or domino at the moment, but let's say you have, you know, the dice like this, right? So that's 5, and then I can get a little plus sign. I'm just doing it on Post-it notes. So that's where they could extend this further and say, okay, 5 plus 4, and then do an equal sign. So then I can introduce the equal sign, and then they can they can determine how am I going to be able to create 9. So then that's when they have to take 2 dice. Something on that Post-it note, but you get the picture. Equals 9. So, and it's just trying to get them to recognize those patterns so they can start to count on in math. And I can also provide more flashcards and flashcards that have higher numbers once they get better at it. And that's pretty much my lesson plan. Thank you.